Hi, I'm Elizabeth Clark. I'm the CEO of Dream Agility, and I'd just like to take you through a couple of funky little things we have on our platform. First of all, we are a multi-award winning, patent pending, second generation ad tech company with machine learning and AI. We really do have that. We're a Google Premier Partner and one of only 42 Google shopping partners globally. So basically, our platform sits in the middle between a retailer and Google, or Bing, or Facebook for that matter. And we optimize the data on the fly and then push it in. We also deal with all the bidding as well at a profit level. We have won loads of awards, lots of e-commerce awards. We won Vans Busan over at the Global Tech Challenge in Korea. We have offices in Ramsbottom and Korea and bases in Paris and Atlanta, as well as Melbourne. We connect to all sorts of places. So Google is amazing. We love it. But we also connect to Facebook and Naver and Bing, etc., etc. So these are figures from Google. Let's take a little slide from them. Of the 8,000 partners in the UK, they track the top 10, and they're growing at, on average, 35%, and we're growing at, on average, 159%. They're very happy with the way we do things. You can see from this chart here, they want to know what is our secret sauce. And this is what it's all about. So sorry this being in French. You can see here this Google search. We're looking for a Gucci watch with 12 diamonds. Imagine I'm Gucci and I want to sell this watch. This is the actual watch I want, but look who's selling it. It's not Gucci. But look at all this stuff that Gucci is selling. None of it is a Gucci watch with 12 diamonds. This is a Gucci watch, obviously doesn't have 12 diamonds. So Gucci is not going to get the sale this time. Now Gucci said, oh, this is amazing. Look at all these things we have here. And I said, it's not so amazing. Google gets very upset because this is a lack of relevance. So this is what's causing the problem with Gucci. On their website, you can see in the big red box here, the title is absolutely shocking. Nobody's going to search for that in a million billion years. So what we're able to do is we're able to change all the titles, and these are just sort of mock-ups by the way, on the fly to make the results match the search terms that are coming in. It makes it much more relevant and it really improves performance. We can also do it on the search side of things as well. So here you can see another Gucci search for a watch for a lady with 12 diamonds. And look what they're doing in their ads. If you read French, you can see that this is actually a watch for a man. This is another watch for a man. What's that got to do with ladies' watches with 12 diamonds in? And you can use your feed to build out thousands of text ads that a human being just wouldn't bother to do. But actually, if a machine's doing it and a machine's monitoring all the bidding, it's fine. So why not? Now, this is one of the problems with Google. As I said, we love you, Google, but it's a bit rubbish. You lose a lot of your data in these ad groups. So here are a bunch of search terms coming in. Here are a bunch of products in an ad group, as Google recommends. Here are a load of clicks, and here's one conversion. Which one of those search terms showed which one of those products which led to that conversion? You have no idea. And what Google recommends is you just keep lowering the bids and lowering the bids. So what happens? You've just got tons of words eating up your account instead of being able to get rid of all the stuff that doesn't work and just focus on the stuff that does work and push really hard on your bidding. Now, here's a really good example. This is a client of ours. We're lucky they had two websites. So website one is theirs. They left it alone. Website two, we put our own structures in, which give a much greater level of granularity, and they're all managed by a machine. You can see they spent 67,000 on their website in its old form with its old structures, and we were able to identify 2,800 worth of savings. On ours, we spent a lot less. For us, was much higher, but we were able to identify 6,800. And the client was like, "You must be doing something wrong. How come you can identify so many more savings on a much lower spend?" And it's all down to the structures that we build and maintain with the platform. It gives a much greater degree of visibility, so you can actually see those words that aren't performing in a machine learning report. This is something that's not available on Google, and then that cuts the waste out. We call it the purger. It's not the best of names, but it's what it was given in production, and that's kind of what we're stuck with. So the purger basically purges the accounts of zero words that have had zero conversions, and also words that have had a terrible ROAS. You spent £1, you get less than £1 back. It will go through continually all the time, purging that information from the account to give you much better spend and much better ROAS. We also have our Dream Agility Intelligent Vision. So this is our visual AI. It's unique to us. It's phenomenal. The problems that people have with shopping are enormous. This particular client that you can see here, they had 15,000 products in their feed incorrectly identified as shirts. And clearly this is a lipstick, it's not a shirt. So it can build the feeds from images. It can also build them in other languages as well. Google doesn't tell you if something in a field is wrong. It lets you submit it unless it's a GTIN that's wrong. So it will also look through the feed and see what images don't match the product types or they've got the incorrect taxonomy. It can look for the 404s and the image links, and it can go to the page, find a relevant image and bring it back and populate that with the feed to make sure you've got as many products as possible on display at all times. You can create color libraries that are specific to your customer base based on their age. They might search for slightly different colors. One might search for aqua, another might search for green, and you can train the language to suit the choices of your customers. It's a fantastic piece of kit, very popular with our customers. These are our dashboards. The great thing about the dashboards, especially when it comes to Google Shopping, is you've always got that problem of availability and is your price correct? We meet a lot of people that say, oh, we check our competitors' prices every day, but is that your competitor in SERPs or is that your competitor on a website somewhere or on a high street somewhere? If you're on Google and you're in SERPs, that's whose prices you want to know. So it's looking constantly about, are you competitive or not? It's also looking at, you see these red lines here, what's in stock and what isn't. You can't sell something if you don't have it. It also looks at, you can see here, the high cost, the best sellers, and high revenue. So if you look after the things that are costing you a fortune but not converting, it gives you the opportunity to go back to merchandising and say, hey, you're buying the wrong stuff. If you look at the stuff that's best selling and you're running out of stock, then it gives you the opportunity to look and say, well, maybe I need to run an offer on a more expensive thing in order to not lose sales. And obviously the high revenue items are important to look at as well. Now we've blown a little bit up here, and what you can see is in this particular example, this item has been out of stock for 53% of the month. Now there's a consequence to that, and you can see the consequence in the lost revenue channel at the end here. It's going to cost them $11,000 this month. By being able to see this on a daily basis, if you start seeing things creeping up, it lets you proactively manage things. It takes the conversation away from, at the end of the month, well, marketing people, what have you done? You've spent all this money, my sales have gone down. What are you doing wrong? It's nothing about what the PPC people are doing wrong. It's about managing the inventory, the pricing, the spend, the structures, and the profit margins. You can see here we're looking at, again, monitoring the pricing. If it's a little red thumb, then you're more expensive, you need to drop your prices. If it's a little green thumb, then you're doing okay. Or actually, you might be able to increase your price a little bit. Nobody wants to race to the bottom with the pricing, so it's important to stay on top of your pricing. So starting to really change the dynamic of what's going on in the paid search department. The Violator, over 3 billion ads blocked. Our Violator, again, another great name in production. It's looking at basically not only what are the violations, but whereabouts are they? So we can identify both those things, and if it's on the page or within one click of the page, we can tell you that as well. What we'll do in our platform is we'll then correct it so that particular violation can't happen again. Obviously, if it's on site, then the client has to correct it themselves. But our feeds are living, organic things that are constantly being changed on an iterative basis. This is, very quickly, we don't just do one thing. So we've got our C-level dashboards. We've got our feed solution, which includes Visual AI, optimization from multiple sources, structure builder, and maintenance, the Violator. On the bidding side of things, we've got our optimization. We've also got machine learning purger, and we've got our reports, and then we've got our offline tracking, because it's not just good enough to know someone's clicked something or to have some kind of notional value. You want to know the actual value of a conversion, and we do that across form fills and call tracking. And of course, you want to be GDPR compliant as well. We don't want to be spying people or getting on the wrong side of the EU, so we are GDPR compliant too. And you can have a look there at your own leisure at our competitors. But you can see from the little blue line across the middle here, there's nobody else does all the stuff that we do. So, like I say, we're changing the conversation now. The conversation is more about, are we making profits based on real margins and ad cost, or are we just hitting CPA? How are our best sellers performing? Are they in stock? Have we forecast enough stock? Should we be reordering now? Merchandising to the best sellers in stock, but how long were they actually out of stock for? And are we price competitive on key products and lines? These are going to be the new conversations with the PPC guys. Nothing about impressions and clicks and things like that. The conversation is moving forward. These are our results. You can see here from the blue line, that's the cost, which remains fairly constant, and here on this one as well. These are obviously straight from Google, so we haven't tampered with these in any way, shape or form. And the red line is the sales, and you can sort of see that's where we took over this one. And that's where we took over this one. And this is kind of standard across the board. We'd expect between a 30 and 100% uplift once the campaigns have been restructured and we move on to auto PLA. Music Magpie is one of our customers. They're very challenging. We've had them for a while now. 2.5 million products in the feed. Their price changes every 15 minutes or every time they sell something. And we gave them a 600% increase in ROAS using our machine learning and AI. And we won 2 awards with them, actually, the Northern E-commerce Awards in 2017, which was phenomenal. We have a great partnership with those guys. My Generator, who's in our case study, you can see there they've done phenomenally well. And when you read the case study, you'll find out why it's really interesting. So I'll leave you to enjoy that one. And this is me, Elizabeth Clark from Dream Agility. That's my LinkedIn there if you want to link in with me. I'm just going to quickly show you some stuff on the platform. So here we go. This is the Always On. Now this is going to revolutionize the way small businesses use Google Shopping. One of the big challenges you're going to have is how am I going to structure it? How am I going to manage myself? How am I going to do this in a cost-effective way? And this is what we did when we very first started. We lived in the Always On. Obviously, it's all done by machine learning AI now. But if you've only got a very small campaign, this is how you can do it. So if I do a search for, say, FitFlop, I don't really want that popping up, do I now? Get rid of that. If I do a search for FitFlop, you can see here, we've got 327 flip-flops turn up. If I do a search for men's, that's now down to 33. If I do a search for black, okay, so now I've got 16 FitFlops for men in black. And if I go to this list of IDs here, I can copy and paste this straight into AdWords, and I'll have a lovely list or a lovely campaign there for my men's black FitFlops. I can also remove certain things if I don't want them to go into the campaign, and you can see it's gone from 16 to 14. The other great thing about this is these are all the searchable fields within your feed. There you go there. And here's the syntax. So you can search for lots of things. You can look for empty fields. So are the descriptions and things, are we missing anything anywhere? Combinations of things. You look for things within a certain price. We've got a fuzzy search on there. You want jackets that aren't black. So that there's loads and loads and loads of combinations. It's phenomenally powerful. And the other thing that it does is get rid of this. Here we go. So now we're going to see, here is, come on, internet. There we are. There's a product. Now I can see this is the title here. If I want to change any of that, I can, and you can see a little red thing comes up there. That means it's been changed. It's a persistent change. So when the feed updates again, we've got 2 levels of optimization. We've got a feed optimization actually at a feed level, and then we've got optimization actually at a product level. So if you want to do some extra SEO to your bestsellers or your worst performers, you can do it in here. You can change anything you like. If you suddenly want to drop the price on something and you've dropped it on your website, but you can't run another feed, you can just change it in there. There you go. Make that £19. You can change pretty much anything you like, and then you just update it, and it updates straight to Merchant Center, and that's live as soon as. It's phenomenally powerful. People love to be able to change the feed without having to change it on their website or ask somebody to change it for them. Let me just take that off. It doesn't go back to there. There we go. Leave it as it was. Everybody loves it. So there you go. That's some of our lovely features explained to you. I could talk a glass eye to sleep. I could keep going on and on forever, but I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for listening.